We did a banlist reaction, so you can check out the... we didn't do a reaction. Take two. Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO. Today, we're doing a deck profile on Scrap Orcust. I've had a lot of success with it. So I played in a tournament with it last week. Full disclosure, I went 2-1. I played against New Era Eldritch. We also played against Salamangreat, which is a deck that's really annoying to deal with, especially since they've gotten more power cards back, and we haven't. Anyway, and then we played against Sky Striker. A lot of Eternal format. It was a good tournament. It was a lot of fun, but this deck is incredibly explosive. It is very good, and the deck has a lot of versatility. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, smash that like button, all that other good stuff. Well, we're gonna do a combo tutorial either way, but you know, hit the like button. Let's see if we can hit 10. Let's dive right in to Scrap Orcust and all of its explosive goodness. This deck is crazy fun. So let's start out with the Orcust cards. So starting out, we got triple copies of Girsu, the Orcust Mech Knight. Girsu is one of the starter cards of the deck, being able to dump a free World Legacy or Orcust card, and then it can summon a token to both players' field, which can really hurt certain strategies, especially depending on where you place it. 2 copies of Orcust Nightmare. Nightmare is your Foolish Burial. It also gives you an attack boost, so you can use its effect during the damage step to be able to boost attack points. 2 copies of Orcust Symbol Skeleton. Symbol Skeleton is Monster Reborn for the archetype. We have 1 copy of Orcust Brass Bombard. Brass Bombard will let you summon from the hand. 2 copies of World Wand. World Wand lets you special summon from the banish pile, which is really good. 1 copy of Gizmek Orochi, becoming a real clutch. 2 copies of Orchestrated Return. It's just a draw card. It's really helpful. 1 copy of Babel. It's Babel. It turns all of your Orcust effects into quick effects. And 1 copy of Crescendo. And that does it for the Orcust package. We're going to jump into the next part, which is going to be the lovely Scrap section. It is 3 copies of Scrap Recycler. Recycler is a Foolish Burial for any machine. 3 copies of Scrap Raptor. Scrap Raptor is one of the big starters of the deck. So what Scrap Raptor does is you target a monster you control, and then during your main phase you get an additional normal summon, and it'll destroy it. When this card is destroyed by a scrap effect, you get to add a Scrap Factory or a Scrap Monster from your deck to your hand. Card's a tuner, so it's pretty nice. So you can do synchro plays, and it's searchable by a bunch of cards, which we'll get to in a minute. 2 copies of Scrap Golem. Scrap Golem is Monster Reborn, but it's not hard once per turn. It's a soft once per turn. 2 copies of Fossil Dig. This searches out Scrap Raptor, along with 2 copies of Scrapyard, which also searches Scrap Raptor. That does it for the Scrap section. Now we're going to jump into our extenders. So we got 2 copies of Danger Nessie, 2 copies of Mothman for the extra draw, 1 copy of Jackalope, and 1 copy of Tsuchinoko. You can cut a Mothman to play a 3rd Nessie if you still desire. I actually think this is the perfect lineup of 6 cards. Next up is going to be the Christian Rosnix. This is part of the Scrap package honorarily. And then finally, the supplemental spell cards. We got 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talents and 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Monster Reborn, it's a good extender. World Legacy Succession, it's part of the combo. We've got Foolish Burial and a Harpy's Feather Duster. Next up is the extra deck. So we're starting off with 3 copies of Galatea. Galatea gets you started on everything and allows you to set your Orcust spells or traps directly from the deck, and it recycles your deck. I like it at 3, but you could cut it to 2 to replace it with a card like Topologic Truspania. 1 copy of Long Girsu. This card's non-targeting sends a card that is linked, that your opponent controls. Finally, this is a card that, again, this is another card you could cut to put in like something like Truspania, or if you wanted to play the Phantom Knight package, you could cut this, and that's Orcustrian. By targeting and shuffling in 3 of your banished machines, you are able to make all of your opponent's linked monsters attack and defense go to 0, and their effects are negated, and it is not till end of turn. Also, while it's linked, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Probably the only Orcust player on the planet that likes this card and uses this card. Last, for the Orcust cards, we've got 2 copies of Dingirsu. Look, it's one of the craziest monsters in the game. Non-targeting sending a card when it's summoned or attaching. Being able to just protect stuff as a non-activated effect. Card's crazy. All right, and then to finish up the Link stuff, we got 1 copy of Link Karibo. This is in case you open Girsu. We've got 2 copies of Scrap Wyvern. This is in case if they stop your combo the first time and you're able to do it again. And Scrap Wyvern can get rid of your opponent's stuff, so this is really good going second as well. 1 Liv, the World Key Blade Master. This works in tandem with IP Masquerena. With the third card here, Unicorn. So these 3 work hand in hand. Your ideal end board is to end with these 2, and then you'll use these 2, summon Unicorn, you discard a card, and you're able to shuffle 2 cards back into the deck. And then lastly, for your extra deck, we got a Topologic Zeraboros and a Topologic Bomber Dragon. Zeraboros is to close games and to get you over the hump. Bomber Dragon is actually really good in grind game control because it keeps your opponent off of things, and it does additional damage. When it destroys a monster, your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's original attack. Let's do the side deck. We are running 3 copies of Nibiru. Activate Nibiru, then activate an Orcust effect, and then you're able to just nuke the board, and you keep your Nibiru in hand, and it makes your opponent scream. We got triple copies of Drill and Lickbird. Drill and Lickbird is just really good. Stop searching. You could substitute this with Token Collector if you have a lot of Sword Soul, or you could cut a Drool and a Nibiru for 2 Token Collectors, give you a little bit more reflexivity. It's up to you. Next up is the Back Row Hate, which is 2 copies of Twin Twisters and a Red Reboot. This is just to help you against things like Trap Eldritch and things like that. And then to finish it out, 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More and 3 copies of Evenly Matched. I think that's enough said. These 2 cards in tandem, you're probably winning that game 2 or that game 3. And lads, that is going to do it for my Orcust deck profile. I think you should try it out. It's actually relatively budget. Probably for like 120 bucks, you could probably build this whole thing at lower rarities, and it's a lot of fun. It's explosive, and just keep your eyes peeled for that combo tutorial, which will be coming soon. And until next time, lads, good fun. Have luck.